What if the world only ever saw your smile, while deep down, you were falling apart? Think about that for a second. Imagine waking up every day, putting on a brave face, joking around, laughing, being the life of the party, while inside, you feel like you're falling apart piece by piece. You're doing everything you can to hold yourself together, even when it feels like no one sees the struggle behind your eyes. Maybe you've felt that way. Maybe you've had days, weeks, even years where you've had to pretend everything's okay because the world expects it from you. And maybe, just maybe, hearing someone else's story, someone famous, someone admired, could make you feel just a little less alone. That's exactly why we're talking about Johnny Depp today. Now, when you think of Johnny Depp, you probably picture one of his iconic movie roles. He's Captain Jack Sparrow, stumbling across the deck of a pirate ship, half-drunk and clever. He's Edward Scissorhands, quiet and tender, with blades for fingers and eyes full of longing. He's played the Mad Hatter, a drug-fueled writer, a haunted detective, and so many more unforgettable characters. He's got this charm, this cool factor that made him a cultural icon for decades. And for a long time, it felt like he was untouchable. The kind of guy who didn't need help. Who had it all together. But what if I told you, that's never been the full picture? What if I told you that behind the scenes, behind the cameras, the movie posters, the red carpets, Johnny was hiding something? Something he carried for years, all alone. A painful secret that shaped who he was, and how he saw himself. It's only recently that he decided to speak up about it. And once he did, it hit people hard, not because he's a celebrity, but because his story felt so real. So raw. So relatable. It's the kind of story that makes you stop and think about your own life, your own pain, and the masks we all wear just to survive. Let's rewind for a moment. Because Johnny's struggles didn't start in Hollywood. They started long before the fame, back when he was just a kid. Johnny's childhood was far from easy. He grew up in a household filled with instability and emotional turmoil. His home wasn't a place of comfort. It was a place of tension. He's spoken about it in recent years, opening up about the emotional abuse and constant fear he felt growing up. And when you're a child in that kind of environment, it changes you. It gets into your bones. You start to believe that love is unpredictable. That you can't trust anyone. That you're always one wrong move away from chaos. He didn't talk about it back then. Most kids don't. When you're young, you just try to survive. You don't have the tools to understand what's happening to you. You don't even have the words. You just know that something hurts, and you don't know how to make it stop. So you find ways to escape. To cope. For Johnny, that escape was music. He said before that music gave him a voice before he knew who he was. That's such a powerful idea. Think about it, being so overwhelmed by emotion and confusion that you don't even know how to explain what you're feeling, but then you pick up a guitar, or you listen to a song, and suddenly, it makes sense. You feel seen, even if it's just for a moment. That was Johnny's safe space. His way to survive the pain. But survival doesn't equal healing. And as he got older, those wounds didn't just go away. They followed him. Now fast forward a few years. Johnny steps into acting. At first, it's a small thing. Then suddenly, it's huge. He becomes one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He's got the fame, the fans, the lifestyle. To the outside world, it looks like he's made it. But here's the thing no one tells you. Fame doesn't fix you. You can be rich. You can be admired. You can be surrounded by people all the time, and still feel completely alone. That was Johnny. That's what he's been open about recently. He talked about how he felt this deep sense of sadness that he couldn't shake. Like no matter how successful he became, he still didn't feel whole. Still didn't feel safe. It's like that feeling you get when you're smiling in a group photo, but your heart isn't in it. You're going through the motions, laughing, joking, but inside, there's this emptiness. And maybe you don't even know where it comes from. You just know it's there. Always. And instead of facing that feeling, Johnny did what a lot of us do, he distracted himself. He kept busy. He dove into character after character, movie after movie. In a way, acting was another mask. It gave him the chance to be someone else. To escape the version of himself he didn't want to face. Have you ever done that? Distracted yourself so you wouldn't have to feel? Maybe you throw yourself into work. Or you scroll endlessly on your phone. Or you tell jokes so people won't ask what's really going on. It's human. We all do it. And Johnny did it too. But here's the truth, you can only outrun your pain for so long. Eventually, it catches up with you. And when it does, it's messy. It's loud. It's overwhelming. For Johnny, that moment came during the legal battles and media scrutiny that took over his life. Suddenly, he couldn't hide anymore. The spotlight was too bright. Everything he was trying to keep buried started spilling out. And it wasn't pretty. It was painful. It was raw. But it was also real. And in the middle of all that chaos, something shifted. Johnny started telling the truth. Not just the truth about what was happening in court, but the truth about himself. About the pain he'd carried since childhood. About the loneliness he'd tried to mask for decades. About how, even at the height of his fame, he felt like a prisoner inside his own mind. He didn't speak up to get sympathy. He wasn't playing the victim. He was just, finally being real. Finally letting people see the man behind the image. And that honesty? It connected with people. Because here's the thing, we all wear masks. We all hide parts of ourselves. We pretend to be okay when we're not. We tell people, I'm fine, because it's easier than explaining the truth. But deep down, we all want to be seen. We all want to be known. We all want to be loved, not for the mask we wear, but for who we really are. Johnny's story reminds us that it's okay to take off that mask. That it's okay to say, I'm struggling. That strength doesn't come from hiding your pain, it comes from facing it. From owning it. From sharing it with others so they don't feel so alone in theirs. There are a few powerful lessons we can take from all of this. First, emotional wounds are real. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. A lot of people carry deep scars from childhood, scars that never really healed. Those scars can shape your self-worth, your relationships, even your career. And if you don't deal with them, they'll show up in ways you don't expect. Maybe you push people away. Maybe you sabotage your own happiness. Maybe you feel like you're never good enough, no matter how much you achieve. Sound familiar? Second, creativity can be a lifeline. For Johnny, it was music and acting. For you, it could be anything that lets you express what's inside. Drawing. Writing. Dancing. Journaling. Even just talking to someone. When you find a way to let those emotions out, in a safe, creative way, it's like releasing pressure from a bottle. It doesn't fix everything, but it helps. It gives you space to breathe. And finally, maybe most importantly, asking for help is not weakness. It's strength. So many of us think we have to carry our pain alone. We think we'll be a burden if we open up. But the truth is, people want to be there for you. People care. And if someone as famous and iconic as Johnny Depp can say, hey, I'm hurting, then maybe the rest of us can too. Here's a simple thing you can try. It might feel small, but it can be really powerful. Start a truth journal. Every night, just write down one sentence about how you really feel. No filters. No pretending. Just be honest. You don't even have to show it to anyone. It's just for you. But over time, those little moments of truth can add up. They can help you understand yourself better. And they can remind you that your feelings are valid. So now that you know Johnny's story, let me ask you something. Have you ever carried a secret that changed how you saw yourself? Something you were afraid to say out loud? Something you kept inside for so long, it became part of you? If you feel safe doing so, share it in the comments. You never know. Your story might be the one someone else needs to hear. You might help someone feel a little less alone. And if this video touched you, even just a little, then I really encourage you to check out our next video. We're going to talk about other public figures who fought quiet battles with mental health, and came out stronger. Their stories are just as real, just as raw, and honestly, just as inspiring. Before you head out, if this meant something to you, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. Not because we need the numbers, but because someone out there might really need this message. They might need to know they're not alone. And maybe, so do you. Thanks for being here. And remember, you deserve love, healing, and peace. You don't have to pretend anymore. You matter. And you're not alone. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.